So you may have seen on the news that James Beek of Dawson's Creek fame got diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer at the age of 46 years old. This, once again, unfortunately, is becoming more and more predominant and more prevalent. You may remember a couple of years ago when Chadwick Boseman got diagnosed with colon cancer, unfortunately passed away from that as well. It brought a lot of information to how often and how early we're seeing colon cancer being diagnosed. In fact, recently, we actually changed the guidelines from 50 years old to 45 years old just because we've seen more and more young individuals being diagnosed with colon cancer. So what exactly does it mean if you have stage 3 colon cancer? So obviously, I'm not James Beek's doctor. I'm not his GI doctor whatsoever. But stage 3 colon cancer means that the cancer has spread beyond the colon. There are areas that are positive for lymph nodes. There are suggestions of spread when you have stage 3 colon cancer. When you have this, we sometimes need the combination of surgical therapy where you remove that part of the colon, maybe even chemotherapy and or radiation to touch up on the treatment diagnosis and to hopefully get a better prognosis when it comes to having stage 3 colon cancer. There are a couple of things I want you to be aware of this. So number one, James Beek had no family history whatsoever. And this is a very common misconception that I see in my patients. They're like, hey, Dr. Islam, I don't need a colonoscopy. I'm not worried about anything. There's actually no history of colon cancer or any cancers in my family. What's the big deal? And this is a very important concept because up to 10 to 50% of individuals who have colon cancer have no diagnosis or family history of colon cancer at all. None whatsoever. And so this is why it's still important to do screening tests, because of the fact that you want to make sure that you are not that 10 to 15% that actually may be the first diagnosis of colon cancer. Number two, James Beek, he says that he was always exercising, he was in great cardiovascular health, he was eating well, and despite that, he still had colon cancer. So you can still do everything right. You can eat right. You can exercise. You can do everything you need to and still have this cancer. And this is why screening is so critically important. The reason we do screening is to try to find something before it can lead to something bad. And so you can do everything right and still have something grow inside your colon and not realize it. So just because you are healthy, just because you eat right, you exercise, it does not mean that everything's going okay in your body. Number three, his first symptom was a change in bowel habits. At first, he thought this wasn't a big deal, and he kind of ignored it. He changed his diet a little bit. Maybe he had too much coffee. Then obviously, he had his colonoscopy, and then his colon cancer was diagnosed. And so if you're having symptoms, if you're having a new change in bowel habits, if you're having rectal bleeding, if you're having abdominal pain, and you don't know what is going on, these are symptoms to not ignore. Your bowel symptoms typically may be the first sign that something could be going on inside your body. So make sure you don't ignore those symptoms, because even a change in your bowels, something as simple as that, and more often may not be anything, but it could be the first sign of what is going on that may be causing you issues that could be lead to something bad in the future for you. And then lastly, get your screening test. Colonoscopies start at the age of 45, meaning if you're 46, if you're 47, if you're 57, you are already behind the 8 ball. Don't become a statistic. Start your screening at the age of 45 at the latest. But if you have symptoms, if you have a family history, you may want to consider getting testing earlier and sooner so we can make sure everything's doing okay and get you taken care of. Obviously, we wish James Beek the best. We hope he can beat this cancer. And we can also hope that his journey can provide education and hopefully an impetus for those individuals who are on the fence about getting their colonoscopy. The colonoscopy is the best test for us to find out what's going on, fix what's going on, and make sure everything's doing okay. It is far better than any other tests that are out there, and it's more effective than any other tests you maybe want to consider when it comes to colon cancer screening. I want to thank you for watching. If you haven't already, don't forget to smash that like button, like, share, and subscribe. If you need your colonoscopy done, come see us at Lubbock Gastro. We are experts on this. We can find out what's going on. We can make sure everything's doing okay. I want to thank you for watching and look forward to seeing you guys on future videos.